YouTube podcast world, you already know the deal, man. Pays and Plays podcast here, giving y'all week 16 in the NFL. Hit the like button, subscribe, pass the word around, man. Y'all already know the vibes here. But let's get right into it. We got Thursday night football. New Orleans Saints traveling to the West Coast to LA to take on the Rams. Rams minus 4.5 underdogs. Correction, they're favorites. The Rams are favorites. I got the Rams to win and cover. The Saints team is very inconsistent. I don't trust this team offensively. And honestly, bro, there's not really a lot of science in this game. This is probably the one Thursday night game I really can't call either or. But I do think Rams will win the game at least. Will they cover? I don't know. But I think the Rams at least win by 6 points. Next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Steelers 2.5 underdogs. I will be taking the Steelers to win the cover. Um, Even with Mason Rudolph. And I know that's crazy to say that because I don't think the Bengals should have won last week, honestly. Luck happens, and that's okay because that's how it goes. But um, not really confident on that. I just trust the Steelers defense to show up in this game. And I know Jake Brown has been playing very phenomenal to be a backup, but I do think this is when Pittsburgh have to get that one win. It's going to be an ugly win, but I think they have to get this one. Next game, you got the nightcap for the Saturday night games. You got the Buffalo Bills traveling to LA to take on the Chargers. Chargers are plus 11.5 point underdogs. Can I really go with the Chargers? I mean, let's just think about the whole thing, right? You got to drop. You know what? I got Chargers to cover, Bills to win. I just thought about it. Coach got fired, so I always believe in the regime. They're going to be at least rejuvenated. I don't think they win the game though. No, but I think they keep it close. Um, Especially even though the Bills been winning. They've been hot, and I have to respect it. Them beating Dallas was kind of eventually. I'm like, okay, you beat the Chiefs and the Cowboys back-to-back weeks. I think that's very impressive. But yeah, I think the Chargers at least win. I mean, they cover. I would tease this down if you like Buffalo. I would tease this down a 7 point teaser because 11.5 to me is a lot of points. And I know it don't matter, but when it's a new when it's an interim coach, I always stick to that strategy, bro. So I'm always never going to fade that one. Next game, we got the Detroit Lions traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Lions minus 3 point favorites. I got the Lions to win the cover. Um, I don't really know because I I'm going the Lions to win the cover with a confident win. But the Vikings is just I don't know why is it minus three. See that's what I'm starting to wonder. It's minus three. If it was at Detroit, we're probably talking about minus six, minus 7 point favorites. But this game here, I think they're better. I think it's the defense for the Vikings you got to respect. JJ is still there. Addison is still there. So I guess you kind of they kind of do have some weapons, but I do think the Lions will win this game. Long as I mean, and it's not like they're playing like on out there on the field outside. They're playing in the dome. So I think this game is kind of close, but I do think the Lions at least win by 6 points. Um, Worst case scenario, maybe minus three in the push. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Falcons is plus 1.5 point underdogs. I got the Colts to win and cover. My question, my real question is, um, with the Falcons, what are you guys doing? It seems like it goes from this game, and I called it against Carolina. It was a possibility, but it's the fact that you don't let Bijan cook. Why did you draft this guy at number 7 if you're not gonna let him cook? Everyone's talking about Jahmyr Gibbs, Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, listen, if you give me Jahmyr Gibbs or Bijan Robinson, I'm gonna go Bijan Robinson. I think even Lions fans would have went Bijan Robinson, all honesty. But it's just with me is why are you not utilizing this man who can do it all? And you limit him to maybe what 7 carries? What are we doing? What are we doing, man? That's really my concern. And the Colts, they've been playing, they've been productive. But that was a good win they had against Pittsburgh, a good comeback win. Um, you know, if it was any other regular day, I would have said the Falcons because they play good at home. But the Colts feel the same scenario as the Falcons. They can both play in the dome. And I think the Colts, they have something to actually play for. So I think the Colts to win the cover. That's really how I look for it at this point. Because there's going to be teams that's going to spoil teams. But the Colts are a team that definitely needs to win the game because they are in the playoffs right now if they win. Next game, we got the Washington Commanders going to the Meadowlands to take on the Jets. Jets -3. I got the Jets to win and cover, but, but I need to know if A-Rod's playing. If A-Rod's playing, I'm pretty much going to love the -3. I think this is almost a best bet if he's going to play. I know that they don't have no purpose of playing. I think it's just more of getting his reps in and preparing for the next season. That's probably what I'm thinking. Because and you know what's crazy? I said last week the Jets may get dropped a 30 burger on them. And it was 30-0. So I think I knew something on that one. But they playing against the Commanders. The offensive line is horrible. And I do think the D line steps up for the Jets, man, because the Jets are good when it comes to that. And I just see them dominate. I see this is when I see defense definitely dominating this game. I know Sam Howell has been impressive, but you can't really do much more and more with the offensive line. And honestly, I don't think they should draft quarterback. I know everyone's saying Jaden Daniels is the I don't think they draft quarterback. I think you got to give Sam Howell another year because he actually has been very productive. To be a fifth round pick and to be the starter the whole year, that's actually very impressive. So I got to give him that at least. Next game, we got the Seattle Seahawks traveling to the Titans, Tennessee Titans. Titans are +2.5 point underdogs. This is the type of game where the Titans win and cover. I know Seattle did win a game against the Eagles last night, and that was an impressive win. I mean, it shouldn't have happened. I almost feel like the Eagles gave them that win. But the Titans, man, I don't. Derrick Henry, you disappointed me last week, bro, because I had you on a 2 touchdown parlay. And if you would have had 2 touchdowns, bro, we're talking straight to the bank, bro. I mean, you put up no yards against the Texans. You better do this against Seattle, right? I mean, this is like one of the worst run defenses in the league. If I'm them, I'm giving them a heavy dose of Henry and Spears. I don't know what levels we playing. I think Tannehill may be actually playing this game too. So I think that leans more towards the run now that Tannehill is going to be the quarterback. And if you're talking about Drew Lock still playing, I'm going to trust Tannehill before I trust Drew Lock. Yeah, that win happened. And you know what about Seattle? I give Seattle his props. I said it with my cousin in the beginning of the year. They are a tough physical team. They are tough. They may not be the best team, but you can't take this team for granted. And that's how I learned about Seattle. No matter where they're at, they're always competitive for the most part. But I do like the over in this game because I feel like both teams wouldn't be able to stop each other. Tennessee can't check nobody. The Seahawks can check some people, but then also, they give up so many yards against the run. I mean, I feel like both teams will score. I think it comes down to a game-winning field goal if I'm picking the Titans or the Seahawks, either or, right? Because it's 2.5. So I like the over in this matchup. I think that'd probably be the best play for me. Next game, we got the Green Bay Packers traveling to Charlotte to take on the Panthers. Panthers -4, 4.5 in some books for the Packers as the favorite. I got Packers to win and cover. This is a game where I don't see how you lose to the Panthers. I mean, this we'll do upset alert, and this will probably be up on there, but I don't see how you get upset to the Panthers. They can't even score a touchdown. And yes, the Packers have been slacking and they lost to Tampa Bay 34-20. But if the Packers put up 24 points in this game, I don't even see the Panthers sniffing. I don't even see them sniffing 13 points unless it's like a field goal or like perfect field position because and people can say, yeah, it was the rain. And you know what? I want to talk about that. So that attendance was so low. I wish I was back in Charlotte just to go watch that game for $3. And you know, I look at it like this: the team sucks, and if you are familiar with the Carolina area, when it rains around December, it's equivalent. I'm not gonna say it's exactly like snow, But like if it's like raining and you're looking at a 45 to 50-degree temperature, it's gonna feel colder than that because it's December. The rain in December is just so cold. So that's also a reason why I knew Panther fans were not showing up to that game. It being an outdoor, I just knew they weren't going to show up for that, and they're not good. So that's just kind of like it's not shocking because the team is that bad, but you know, me being in that area for a minute, I understand how people think when it rains in the wintertime. They don't want to be out. Next game, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars Duval versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers plus 1 point underdogs. I got the Buccaneers to win and cover if Trevor Lawrence isn't playing. If he is not playing, I'm definitely going to pick the Buccaneers in this matchup. Um, the Tampa, you know what's crazy? They're a team that I want to say when I was only doing a podcast through through just, podcasting. I think I said in the beginning of the year that the Buccaneers were a bold prediction to win the NFC South. And right now they're in first place. I mean, I don't ask me what made me think that. I think it was the defense as to why I thought that. Baker Mayfield has been playing very good. And against this Jaguars secondary, I mean, let's be honest, man. They can't stop a soul. So what that the Bucks can't run the ball? I don't think it even matter because Jags can stop the run, but the Buccaneers mindset isn't to run the ball anyway. It's to pass the ball 40, 50 times. So expect a lot of targets for Godwin and Evans, Gage, Cameron Brate. Rachaad White isn't bad. They just don't really run the ball with him, honestly. But I honestly like them this game. And if you're the Jags, it's a tight race. So it is kind of a must-win game. But if you got CJ, what's his name, Burthead, whatever, coming in possibly, I'm going to fade him for Baker. I'm sorry. Next game, we got the Dallas Cowgirls. Yeah, I got to call you out the Cowgirls again. Versus the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins minus 1.5. I got Dolphins to win the cover. Um, but what both of these teams have in common. I want people to realize this, and this is going to be a game where this might be a trickiest game. The Cowboys, they win dominant against trash teams. The Dolphins, they win dominant against trash teams, right? Both of them do that. But when it comes to the big games, none of them show up. This is another road game for the Cowboys. I do think the Dolphins find a way to win this game. Listen, Tyreek Hill will be back. We know he'll be back. This is a game where every time about there's other key games. This is a key game. He will be back. We saw what Waddle did. We saw what Mozart. I don't think Mozart's the most underrated running back. We haven't been talking about him all this year. I've been vouching for him, but I mean, this team is knocking on all cylinders. We know Miami plays good at home, and even though the Cowboys are coming to town, I actually would like the over in this game. I think the over would be a sneaky play, but I definitely love the Dolphins to win this game. Next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals traveling to Chicago to play the Bears. Bears minus 4.5. I got the Bears to win and cover. I almost feel like this is lock century. I almost feel like this game is lock century. From what I've been seeing with the Bears for the last month with Justin Fields back, very impressive, very explosive. I mean, this guy has been making plays. They should have won against the Browns. I got to push with the Browns, but they should have won against them. And with the Cardinals, the defense isn't good. Kyler Murray's already kind of banged up. You almost feel like maybe they're going to prepare for next year. We know Kyler Murray's going to be staying in Arizona at this point. Um, Bad defense traveling to a cold winter place too. That is definitely a concern when you think of this game. I love the Bears in this matchup. I expect Justin Fields to have a hell of a game. DJ Moore. You know what? This is the best bet for me right now. We're gonna take Bears minus 4.5. I say minus 4. If you could find minus 4, perfect. But from what I'm looking at certain books right now, I believe the Cardinals are really juiced. So I almost feel like if you could find a minus 3 before kickoff, hammer that. Hammer that. Because I'm gonna pick the Bears to win this game outright. And they're gonna cover. Next game, we got the New England Patriots versus the Broncos country. Let's ride. Broncos minus 6. I got New England to cover, Broncos to win. I mean, bro, I think it's a 3-point game. Is there any much science to it? No. It's cold. It's going to be cold. It's in Denver. It's going to be one of those games, bro. It's a primetime game. I won't be surprised if this one goes under as well. Um, yeah, bro. I think Belichick would try to have this defense playing. Belichick honestly was competitive. I will say the Patriots were competitive against the Chiefs until, a couple plays didn't go their way. So I see him being in the game. I definitely would love teasing the Patriots probably up to 13 and a half. I think that would be a solid play. Next three games we have is Christmas Day games on Monday. You have the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs. Chiefs minus 10 and a half. It goes to what I always say: Chiefs to cover, Chiefs to win, Raiders to cover. It's just 10 points, bro. It's a lot of points for me. I will be teasing this down from 7 to 3.5, possibly. If I can get it at 10 and make it a 3, that's even more perfect. Raiders, salute to what y'all been doing, man. Pierce needs to be the head coach. He kind of proved his point. This give him a good off season with some good free agency and some good drafting, and we're talking about Raiders possibly making the playoffs next year, which they're actually still kind of in the hunt, but I don't think they'll make it this year. Next game, we got the New York Giants traveling to Philly, take on the Eagles. Eagles minus 12. Eagles to win the cover. How confident am I in that one? Not really a lot. I mean, them blowing that game yesterday. Actually, they were actually covering that game until and then Jalen Hurts throws those two questionable picks. I scratched my head on that. I honestly do. I feel like he was going for the win, which of course you supposed to go for the win, but when it's like when it's like 10 seconds left, you're supposed to be in the best field position to possibly kick a field goal, and then we get into overtime, go for the win. That's just my opinion on that one. But then you got Matt Patricia calling defensive plays. I don't think that's a good to me that's not good. I don't really know how to plan it. Giants, man, they moved the ball down the field, even though they only scored 6 points last week. But it goes to what I tell you with that ball. The offensive line just hasn't been good, but the defense is competitive. I would tease this down too for Philly for minus 12, 7, maybe to make it 5 points. I would tease it down because I do think they win about at least 10 points. 10 points is where I ideally see this team possibly winning by. And lastly, we do have the Monday night football game, the nightcap one. We had the Baltimore Ravens traveling to the West Coast to the Bay to take on the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers is minus 5.5. And listen, I got the Ravens to cover, 49ers to win. But the one thing I do want to wonder though, when you think about Monday night games too, yesterday, this is the seventh straight game that an underdog has covered and won, which is very impressive. And when I look at the 49ers, that is a team that they are like from top down, it look like the best team. This is probably be the real test for them is Baltimore. And I'm going with the Ravens to cover still. I actually like to tease it up, make it plus 12 with the 7 points. So I actually, you know what? If you feel like doing a Monday night one, if you feel like doing an all day Christmas one, I would tease. Oh no, I'm actually doing this while I'm looking at writing in the paper so I can know what I'm doing too. I would tease 7 points, which mean I would make the Chiefs down to minus 3.5. I'll make the Eagles to minus 5. And I'll make the Ravens up to plus 12.5. I think that's pretty solid for a Monday night triple header for Christmas. If you're interested in triple header Christmas teaser, I think that's a pretty solid play. The Ravens, man, I mean, they're competitive, bro. And I mean, the way they can win is how I look at you gotta have 3, 4 receivers. You got Flowers, you got OBJ, you got Likely, who's been starting to show up as a tight end, and then you got Bateman. You got 4 or 5 targets. The running game, even though the running back did just get hurt, they plug and play running backs, and Lamar Jackson can run the ball when he needs to. I think this game will be very close. The over-under I saw was at 45.5, 46. I think it goes under. I think it's probably a 23-17 game. Wait, that makes it 6 points. I'm gonna say a 20-17 game. It almost feels like that's one of the games it can be because I think it's going to be under, but it's all up to how San Fran wants to set the tone. If they want to try to score a bunch of points, like they dropped a 40 burger on Arizona, I could see Baltimore trying to at least score 20 points too. But as always, guys, hit the like button, subscribe, pass the run around. Let's get this bread.